which reacts to our belief and acceptance of it, is the truth. It is yours to use. And to example this, I've chosen one of my very favorite Dr. Holmes quotes from the textbook. And it says, never limit principle. Know your own mind. Train yourself to think what you wish to think. Be what you wish to be. Feel that you wish to feel. And place no limit on principle. The words which you speak could be just as powerful as the words which Jesus spoke, if you knew your word was the law whereunto it was sent. But you must know this within, not merely accept it with your intellect. If you have reached a point where the inner consciousness believes, then your word is simply an announcement of reality. When we become so connected in consciousness, when we get so connected with our source, our divine power, then it becomes a reality. It becomes that which serves us, that becomes our companion, and it becomes who and what we are. I know that on occasion we've all known people who've gone into a position or a job or a profession because they thought they should. Their parent might have had that business, or their grandfather, or their grandmother. They thought they should do it. Not that they couldn't do it, they thought they should. An obligation, so to speak. Well, what I know is that when you find a job or a profession that makes you feel stuck in the mud, so to speak, the mental mud, the physical mud, if you're not happy doing it, why would you do it? When you become stuck or trapped or challenged, it's not a good space to be in, my friends. But through the power and use of principle, we can move out of that, out of the muck and mire, into that space that we want to be. I just thought, what if I chose something to do in my life that I didn't want to be? And I was thinking, what if I had chosen to be a heavy equipment operator? Can you imagine that? I can. Steel-toed boots and a hard hat. It just doesn't fit my persona. And I bless all those that do. I can remember last year we were having all the trim work painted here at the center. When they brought in all these sky lifts, I call them, and the guy was all strapped in up there and he was jumping around, not jumping around, but being motorized around so he could paint and assist 35, 40 feet up. I thought the blessings of those people that engineered those tools, that equipment, and I saw how they operated from the ground. I probably would have pitched him off and he had a broken shoulder, but I'm knowing that whoever was doing it had the right calling at the right time. The more I know that I connect with Spirit. And when I connect with Spirit, and I have that tight combination of spirit and mind, there's no fear, there's no tension, conflict, or struggle in accepting this into my consciousness. It is a clear, direct route. And when I am in that state of consciousness and in that state of awareness, there's a calmness, an assurance, and it allows me to celebrate my life without any hiccup, without anything but the goodness that I know is mine. What I know is that consciousness is the fusion of thought and feeling. So whatever we tell ourselves, make sure that you're thinking the right thought. Oftentimes we tell ourselves things, and sure enough, it might not be the best thing to think about. But that's what shows up in our life. Thoughts are definitely things. Dr. Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook shares, there is one supreme intelligence which governs, guides, and guards, tells me what to do, when to act, and how to act. There is something within that says yes to my good, my emotions, and my love. So we know that when we come true to this and live in the principle, live in that contained, wonderful space in consciousness, our true and wonderful self is set into motion. We're responsible for all these thoughts. And that's why I think thinking good is a good thing. Because if we think less than, or with lack, limitation, and whatevers, guess what shows up? You got it. We live in mind. And what returns to us is what we think into it. That self-responsibility that Dr. Holmes has given us, that freedom of choice and volition, which I spoke of earlier, the greatest gift that the whole teaching has for us, in my opinion. Because thoughts are things, and we have that ability to change them, to alter them, to move them into a constructive arena for our self-betterment. So I always want to make sure that my mental chatter is purposeful. There's been this chatter, speaking of chatter, on the ministers list, and I don't know if Dr. Carolyn read all about this, where there's been a lot of confusion, I think, and name-calling about different faiths going on. Have you been reading that, Dr. Carolyn? I was very distressed. I'm composing something in my mind to write out to the list. You have to remember there's over 1,000 ministers on this list, so we're from all over the world. But some of the people were being rather derogatory about some of the more fundamental faiths, some of the more restrictive thoughts and thinking and such, and been very verbal about it. I have found it not to my liking. I said we all have choices. The very nature of our teaching is we welcome all on the path, wherever they are, whatever they're doing. And I really thought, and I'm not condemning the ministers, but what I'm making my observation about is that if we see only good and praise it, why would any of this other stuff matter? It just is not purposeful. We all think the way we think. We all chose to come to this center today. Nobody coerced you. Nobody twisted your arm. Nobody made you do it. You came on your own volition and your own 2 feet, or 4 tires, or however you got here. But I do know that we have freedom, and I would like to think that the pastors and ministers throughout the world would, there's only been 10 or 12 that have been so verbal about it, but it's less than pleasant. And so I'm knowing and holding in consciousness that all of these people that have been so verbal about it will have an opportunity to turn within and research their own thoughts, so to speak, and live and practice and walk what we teach. That's very, very important, in my opinion. And opinions are worth not maybe 25 cents, but it's the way it is. You know, what I do know is that when confusion and difficulty appear in my life, and it does happen to all of us, and certainly to me, this is the moment when I have any kind of a bump in the road, so to speak. Whenever I have that come to me, I know that if I send out the vibrations of love, send out the vibrations of healing and loving, and knowing that there is a gift in what is transpiring. When I stay in that thought and that consciousness, I know that it becomes an energized solution because I have rethought and processed what I know to be true. All of us know that love is our word of purpose here at the center. It's very apparent, a congenial group. And I'm knowing that all of those that are here, that are not here today, we bless them and love them too, because they're out playing and having a good time. I know some are water skiing and camping and doing all sorts of fun mountain things, celebrating this wonderful holiday of Labor Day. But our word of purpose here at GS, the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Chico, is love. And you know what I think of love? It's certainly we felt it here today, but it's an unseen energy. But you sure feel it, and I've sure felt it in all the hugs that I received today. I like to think of that as a mental elixir. It's God's gift. It's God's tonic. It's Spirit's good. You know, we use it. We use it in all of our daily life. And we know its effect. We know how much better we feel when we've been hugged or spoken to in a loving manner. We share it, we feel it, and we allow it to come to us with ease and grace. And you know the beautiful thing about love, and the beautiful thing of Dr. Holmes and all of he's taught in his teaching and in the Science of Mind textbook, is that we re-gift that. We give it out. We give it out. Dr. Holmes speaks of love as a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. And it is. It's ever. It's just like those tidal waves that we've seen on television and that storm coming into the Gulf Coast. We know that love is behind the activity. And we also know that love and understanding soothes any abrasion that we may have. Any abrasion of a thought that is less than perfect and whole is soothed by love. And I can accept choice as my friend. You know, we can never have too much love. We can never give too much love. And compassion and understanding. And the beautiful thing about love is reciprocal. You give it back. You give it out. I like to think of giving out love and giving out good wishes and a wonderful energy is like mental tithing. You give out 10%. You receive back tenfold. So imagine as we give it away and share it, what comes back to us. It's yours to claim, it's yours to share, and it's yours right here and now. This is what I know for you. Your word is powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. That which you speak, that which you think, operates through a perfect pattern that's been divinely designed for you. That pattern supplies you with all good. All good is yours. It fills you with confidence. It fills you with love, and it fills you with life. It is the energy and the joy of the divine. The infinite embraces you like these large, wonderful hands, these strong arms that caress you and holds you in consciousness, not in the mental and the physical realm both. Your thought is your consciousness. Your thought is your consciousness. And that is the fusion. That is a fusion. Consciousness is a fusion of thought and feeling. So when we feel good, living good, walking on the happy side of the street with all of our friends and all of our life and our community here at the center, we are living in a divine consciousness. So I celebrate each of you this morning, for this is the truth I know to be yours, that you're whole, perfect, and complete just as you are, just as you are. Your interior awareness, your spiritual sense of well-being is the gift which brings balance to your life as you come true to it. There is that cause, there is that effect, there is that harmony and that love, much like we did in our song today. There's much to be garnered, much to be gained, and much to be known, for we use it with a constructive and wonderful way. So I close my lesson with a quote from Katharine Graham. To love what you do and feel that it matters, can anything be greater? And my lesson ends in love.